Well, hello everyone. I just wanted to say a few words to introduce next summer's session, Art, Design and Biology. And, I make no pretense to be a biologist, heaven knows, but I'm interested in talking to science teachers, and I'm interested in everyone looking together at works of art and bringing their own expertise to bear on them. So let's look at a shark. Let's look at a shark in formaldehyde, which is the kind of thing you might expect to see in a natural history museum. But here it's in the artist Damien Hirst's work, The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living. Life and death, living creatures, and also minimalist art. If you took the shark out, we'd have just the kind of object that you might see in a modern art museum. And of course, Damien Hirst's brilliance is that he jars us by putting the living thing or the once living thing inside this artistic and aesthetic setting, which is not the usual place to find it. That's exactly what we want to do in this seminar. So I'm hoping to also do what Damien Hirst did in another work, which is to confront something fairly normal, which is a pig, as this supermodel type person is doing. But then somebody presses a button and one half of the pig shoots off, revealing a cross section of the pig, which of course is kind of grotesque. And you can imagine all your kids in the classroom going, ew, except that that's what they just ate for breakfast, some of them. And also, of course, it's a strangely beautiful thing. So this little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed at home. Damien's little jerk, kind of enough to make us all vegetarians. So art and biology are intimately linked and actually have been right from the beginning. The human body is an essential subject of all art. Think of Michelangelo or Greek sculpture. But I want to think particularly about the moment when botany and modern art really were born at the beginning of the 19th century. Botany and biology emerged as modern sciences just at the same time as painting did, and modern painting. So we've got here on the left Caspar David Friedrich, a German artist, with a man looking at nature, trying to understand its mysteries, maybe in a spiritual way, maybe in a scientific way, like his exact contemporary on the right, Alexander von Humboldt. You can see he's picking specimens and notating them in his book, which will become one of the great works of science, Cosmos, an attempt to understand ecosystems like this, for example. Here's Humboldt using an artistic method, drawing things to represent the differences in climate between the top of a mountain on the left and then the kind of temperate zones and then a rainforest on the right. And guess what? Frederick Church, the American painter, read Humboldt, went to that very place that was described in the drawing we've just seen, and painted a great work of art. But it does the same thing. It looks at ecosystems, biology, the way in which different plants grow at different heights and in different climatic settings, looking at flora and fauna, looking at the relationship between the icy uplands and then the lush forest in the foreground. So art and science share these interests. There's Humboldt's, other Humboldt's diagrams. And we'll spend a lot of time thinking about museums and displays of natural history because we have the Peabody Museum to play in here at Yale, most amazing place. But actually, the history of that goes back way back into the origins of the American nation with the artist Charles Wilson Peale. In the early days of the Republic, he set up a museum of stuffed taxidermied animals, but also he shows a turkey wandering in at the left. So that's the most American of birds, unique to this part of the world. And on the right, you can just see the knees of the mastodon, which he dug up, he exhumed in his own words, and then installed in the Maryland Historical Society. You can see on the right this huge woolly mammoth-like creature. So art and science have always been in conversation, particularly the biological sciences. And you can see that at the Peabody, where the great dinosaurs, which every kid, within 100 miles of New Haven absolutely loves, including lots of grown-up kids like myself. And what we often forget is that natural history museums are a wonderful place to look at art, to look at the dioramic illustrations and also these amazing settings by James Perry Wilson. In the foreground, we've got the stuffed warthog or whatever it is. Someone will correct me of the particular ecosystem that's being depicted here. But then in the back, it's a painting. It's a work of art. James Audubon's Birds of America, one of the great works of natural history. Again, it's the work of an artist, it's the work of a scientist. We've got a copy in the Peabody, which I look forward to sharing with you. And I'll just end with my favorite bird in the world, which alas is no more, but maybe again. And that is the dodo in the Natural History Museum in Oxford, UK, which is the only surviving soft tissue from a dodo, the mummified skin from the head of the famous dodo, which they're now talking about the possibilities of regenerating this extinct creature. At the bottom is the model that Victorian children were shown in the museum. And of course, that's what became the dodo in Alice in Wonderland. So many ways in which art and science, particularly art and biology, interlink and mix together. I hope you can bring your expertise from your specialist areas, particularly if you're a science teacher, and we can meet on the kind of center ground to think about the ways in which art can be used to teach science, science can be used to teach and understand art. So look forward to seeing some of you next summer.